what's up, YouTube? We back at it. Late night. It's like 11:42 right now. I told you I'm consistent though. We don't stop. We don't take breaks. Even if it's late night, early morning, late nights. I just quoted Nipsey Hussle. Go listen to that song too. But we finna get right into this video, y'all. No more holding y'all time up. Some of y'all sleep, but it's gonna be up sometime tomorrow. Let's get into it though. CCTV footage.
Many unsolved cases are solved by events that have been caught on camera, which is why CCTV security footage is often the first piece of evidence collected during criminal investigations. Whether it's the final moment leading up to a crime, or the last moments that criminals are caught on camera as they escape the scene, such footage helps police identify and locate dangerous individuals responsible for these strange and disturbing crimes. Number 5. People driving down the A6 in England on the morning of September 17, 2020, were shocked when they found a young woman who appeared to have fallen out of a fast-moving vehicle. 19-year-old Angel Lynn had just gone through a horrific ordeal, and 2 criminals were caught on camera. The hospital did their best, but Angel was left paralyzed with life-altering cognitive problems that doctors think will likely never fully resolve. Crime investigators turned to CCTV.
That's why I be saying, if you really think about it, most of these kidnappings and all that, it happen to female. You don't really see much of no dudes getting kidnapped, unless that's a little boy. That's the only thing I can see it. If you really think about it, it's scarier out here for women than it is men. I promise that. I don't care how much a woman thinks she tough and all that. How much brothers you got, your brothers is not gonna be there when a dude really wants you. And it's not to scare no female, but I don't care how much you been boxing and all that. If somebody really wanna get you, they gonna get you. If they really wanna do something to you, they gonna do something to you. And I'm not even trying to scare nobody on that. You better have you a taser or something on you. Or have you something. You better move to Texas.
Security footage to help get this disturbing criminal case solved. A street cam showed the terrifying events leading up to the moments she was found on the motorway.
See?
As Angel's silver van came...
See what I told you, he was waiting on her. Dude ran out of that van and kidnapped her and put her in the back of the van.
To a stop, and she crossed the road. 2 dangerous criminals were caught on camera.
They was out there looking for women to kidnap and do something to.
Moments later, a suspect in a white t-shirt ran from behind, lifted her up, and made her get back to the van. Another suspect had gotten into the driver's seat, and once...
And dude right there in the car seeing this stuff happening, he didn't do nothing. I swear, bro, y'all be so scared, bro. I mean, but I understand if you don't want to risk yourself getting hurt in the process of trying to save somebody, but how can you just sit by and watch somebody get kidnapped? I promise that. It couldn't be me.
As Angel was back in the vehicle, he drove away. They weren't exactly the smartest criminals, and
they did this in daylight with no type of face mask, no balaclava, no nothing. They had their face out. They didn't really care about nothing. They didn't care about going back to jail. I promise that.
Take long for police.
They was gonna do what they done to that woman, and go to jail for it.
To solve the case of who these 2 dangerous men were. The man who had grabbed Angel was Che Boskill. At the time, he was Angel's boyfriend, even though Boskill's own mother would later admit that he had been controlling and coercive of Angel. And her parents described him as being potentially disturbed. On that terrible day, Angel had picked up Boskill and his friend, Rocco Sansom, and they got into an argument. The scary encounter began after Angel decided to remove herself from the situation, but Boskill would not let her escape. At some point during the kidnapping, criminal investigators determined that Angel fell, jumped, or was pushed out of the van. Her kidnappers did not stop for help, and it was only thanks to concerned bystanders springing into action that Angel's life was saved. The two lawbreakers were eventually arrested, and both were found guilty
That's
of
crazy, bro.
kidnapping.
Them dudes is
Even though
sick.
the case had been solved,
Lock them up and throw away the key. Put them underneath the jail. I swear, bro. They would have been taught a good lesson in the prison.
using
Oh, shit.
CCTV evidence, they couldn't be legally convicted of causing Angel's condition, as she was unable to testify, and police couldn't find enough evidence to convince the jury that she'd been pushed out of the moving vehicle as opposed to jumping out herself. Boskill would eventually be handed 12 years in prison, but only after an appeal by Angel's family. Sansom received 21 months for his role in the kidnapping. Angel's family still does not believe that the two criminals got what they deserved. Angel still requires round-the-clock care, but thankfully has shown some signs of recovery, and has even managed to hug her mother. Number 4. Stalking stories are scary no matter what, but especially when criminals get away instead of getting what they deserve. The constant worry of becoming an unsolved disappearance after a kidnapping is enough to make the stalker's target feel like they're stuck in a real-life horror story. In 2021, a year-long stalking campaign finally forced actress Stephanie Davis to contact police. Security camera footage played a
How many Amber Alerts do y'all get every year, every month, every other week about a person going missing? A little kid being abducted from a hospital at birth, or just a kid going missing from their house, and it's all over the Amber Alerts. Literally, how many times? It's a lot of times. It's mostly. It's mostly every other New Year. I promise that to me, at least. But it's just sad to see stuff like this. It really is. Like, it's sick, it's weird, it's twisted.
crucial role in the criminal investigation that would put the scary person responsible behind bars. Stephanie's stalking stories started in 2020, when she was bombarded with creepy messages on social media. The bizarre messages appeared to be from a variety of different accounts, and there didn't appear to be anything she could do to stop the stalker, other than logging off of social media. But that's when her scary story became more than just an unsolved internet mystery. Stephanie received creepy letters at her home. The long, rambling letters showed the scary person who sent them was clearly obsessed with her in a crazy, criminal-like way. He claimed to be in a relationship with Stephanie and in love with her. The person responsible was unknown. The mystery of her mysterious admirer only grew worse as the letters escalated into physical gifts and flowers left on her doorstep at night. The stalker was finally caught.
Dude must have hacked her IP address, cause ain't no way if she gave him, I would have been questioning, how did you get my address? Y'all better be download. I promise it be people that can hack your IP address and you just don't know it, or you probably show something or have your location open and you just didn't see it and somebody seen it and they got your IP address that way. I promise y'all better check y'all stuff. Y'all better make sure y'all don't be posting where y'all at. And I don't understand why people be literally going on Instagram showing where they was at or what they was eating. If you gonna show where you had ate it, show it when you about to leave. Don't show it when you sitting down eating. That's how most of these people be getting killed and all that.
On camera as a security system was installed. In one of the videos that was shared on social media, the criminal was caught on camera loitering around her home while Stephanie was still inside. When someone went out for an investigation, the criminal hid behind a trash bin. He was wearing a dark hooded jacket and was hiding his face. It was clear that the man on camera knew that what he was doing was wrong. Stephanie and her young son eventually moved out of their home to stay with relatives while the police investigated the case. The security camera footage would help them to finally solve the case of her stalker, who also left DNA and fingerprint evidence on the gifts and letters. Testing on the forensic evidence pointed to a man named Alex Boston. Boston was arrested and pleaded guilty to stalking, Twice he failed to show up for sentencing, apparently scared off by the media present. But his case was solved when he was eventually sentenced to 28 weeks in prison. Number 3. The theft of a Vincent van Gogh painting, or Vincent van Gogh, depending on what pronunciation you prefer, back in 2020.
Hold on, so people out here stealing old paintings. I ain't gonna lie, that painting have to be worth like $250,000 or $500,000. What's that famous painter's? Dang, I forgot his name. They literally made a TV show out of him. I don't even, bro. But anyway, his painting is going for like $1 million. I promise that. Over $1 million too. Knew was a great artist.
Was caught on camera and made headlines around the world. Some of the biggest
Then you got people out here buying NFTs, digital art. It'd be crazy, bro. It really is.
In the art crime community took to the case to try to solve one of the biggest art heists in recent history. With the help of CCTV evidence, the case was finally solved in 2021, but some mysteries about this famous art heist remain unsolved. The heist took place on March 30th, Van Gogh's 167th birthday. In the early hours of the morning, the dangerous criminal was caught on camera using a sledgehammer to break through a reinforced glass door of the Singer-Laren Museum near Amsterdam. Camera footage then showed the thief rush through the front hall, break through another glass door, and climb through into the hall where his target was being kept. It seemed as if the thief knew exactly what he was there to get and wasted no time. Moments later, he reappeared with a small painting tucked under one arm. He fled on the back of a motorbike. Afterwards, police found the painting frame abandoned outside. The stolen art piece was Van Gogh's Parsonage Garden at Noonan in Spring. It had been on loan to the museum from another gallery. The painting was made in 1884, and it wasn't one of Van Gogh's most well-known pieces. It was made while he stayed with his parents in the small village of Noonan. However, it was worth millions of dollars, and police were keen to locate the painting and the criminal who stole it. In June of 2020, Dutch art detective Arthur Brand published a photo of the painting. It had allegedly been going around in mafia circles as a proof of life image. It showed the painting beside a copy of the New York Times paper from May 30th. Presumably, this had been sent to someone who was looking to buy the painting. The source that had sent the image to the detective remained anonymous. The same art thief apparently struck again in August of 2020, when the lawbreaker broke into another museum. Despite tripping an alarm while getting through the door, by the time the police arrived, the criminal had already escaped the crime scene with another painting. Investigators decided to not make the camera footage publicly available. Both times, the criminal left behind DNA evidence for forensic testing, and it was this that would ultimately lead to his capture. In April of 2021, Dutch police announced that they had arrested a man identified only as Norm M. He was a known criminal who had previously been in prison for art heists. The criminal denied that it was him caught on CCTV cameras, but he couldn't explain how his DNA had been left at the scene of both crimes. He was found guilty and sentenced to 8 years in prison. However, by the time he was caught, both paintings had already been sold. Norm has never revealed the location of the two paintings after the heist, and it remains an unsolved mystery. Number 2. Surveillance footage played a crucial role in solving the kidnapping of Carlicia Freeland Gaither. Camera footage not only caught the criminal in action, but helped police finally solve the case by tracking down their movements after the crime scene. It was late on the evening of November 2nd, 2014, when Carlicia was kidnapped. She had been visiting her
Look, it's somebody right behind her walking, and I bet she wasn't even paying no attention. That's why I say always be aware of y'all surroundings. Even if you know it ain't nobody behind you, I still get that worried feeling that somebody low key following me behind me. That's why I always be looking back sometimes. Act like you're not looking back, but also just, I don't know, I get that feeling in my stomach. Like, I be feeling like somebody low-key watching me. I be promised. You can call me paranoid all you want. I probably is paranoid, but If you don't get them butterflies in your stomach, then your stomach just don't mess with you. Hey,
Son and was
I guess you just not blessed like that.
on her way home when she was approached by an unknown man. They appeared to speak for a moment before the crazy criminal grabbed hold of Carlicia and started to drag her towards his car. Camera
Crazy,
footage
bro.
captured the terrifying ordeal. Carlicia fought back and tried to escape her kidnapping. Thinking quickly, Carlicia
crazy.
dropped her phone and glasses and smashed out the rear window of the criminal's car to help investigators identify the vehicle more easily. The events weren't enough.
Hey, she was on her A game at that. She knew if she had hit that car that it was gonna look suspect. I knew it. Hey, that's good. That's good thinking. You better start hitting something and try to break something just to make it be more aware. I promise that.
To be able to identify either of the people involved, but Carlicia's dropped phone told police who the victim was. The criminal investigation into the case began, and Carlicia's family were informed of her mysterious disappearance. As her family put up missing person flyers in the area where she had gone missing, police released the CCTV video evidence to the media. Another important clue came when Carlicia's credit card was used to take money from an ATM. This provided police with more security camera footage supplied by the bank, which was also released to the media. They later collected more camera footage of the same criminal at a supermarket buying snacks. Not only was this all providing...
And wow, this dude is trash. He used her money to go buy him some snacks. This dude is the most weakest, down bad person ever. This dude used her money after he done kidnapped her and did something to her. And he went and bought him some snacks.
more images of the man that could help the public identify him. But it also gave police a clear map of where he had gone, and where he could be holding Carlicia while she was kidnapped. The mystery went viral, and the scary story thankfully was seen by the right person. Law enforcement in Virginia recognized the car that the
So what happened to Carlicia? Did he kill her?
criminal was caught on camera driving, and believed the unknown man was Delvin Barnes. Barnes was being investigated for another kidnapping case, and seemed to match the description of the man in the security footage. They also registered a sticker on the car, identifying the dealership where it had been bought. After speaking to the dealership, criminal investigators discovered another crucial piece of evidence when they learned the car had a tracking device fitted to it, because Barnes had bad credit. The GPS led investigators directly to the criminal. Thankfully, Carlicia was still with him. She screamed for help as Barnes tried
Alright, cool.
to escape. He was arrested and later pleaded guilty to kidnapping. He said it had started out as a robbery, as he wanted money to get back to Virginia and see his daughter before handing himself in. But then the creepy case turned into something else. Carlicia was rescued and reunited with her family. Investigators praised her actions, which helped them quickly solve the case. Number 1. It was a little before 8 a.m. when CCTV cameras caught Thuan Den walking down a street in Kent, England. The footage shows Den walking with one hand in his coat pocket and the other carrying a bag. The images looked innocent enough, but Den was carrying with him the criminal tools that he needed for a plot to take his ex-wife's life. Den had met his ex-wife, Leanne, in a Hong Kong refugee camp in the 1980s, and married her in 1991. They moved to the UK in 94, and almost 30 years of a loveless marriage followed. Den was extremely controlling, which didn't stop after the couple divorced in 2016, but they continued living together for their children. After one argument, Den threatened to take Leanne's life if she left. When she didn't listen, the dangerous criminal attacked Leanne in an extremely disturbed manner that made Leanne take out a restraining order against her ex-husband, which was granted on March 10th of 2020. The father
ain't nothing cool about this. I don't find that cool at all. I said, if y'all in a bad situation, I promise y'all could always figure out a way to get out of that situation. Don't let no dude, and especially sometimes it don't even be the dude, sometimes it be the woman. Don't let no woman keep y'all trapped. I promise that. But most of the majority, sometimes it be the dude. But anyway, Get out that toxic relationship. It ain't worth it.
following day, Den was caught on camera moments before his even more disturbing attack. Leanne managed a nail salon, which her husband still owned. She would typically show up for work at about 9 a.m., but shortly before.
And what I would have thought is he low-key saying that around his kids too. He didn't care that his kids was there when he was saying that to his wife. Saying he was gonna murder her and do her in and do her dirty. He probably was saying that in front of his kids. They traumatized now.
Before her staff members arrived. When she arrived on March 11th, 2020, she heard footsteps behind her and turned to find her ex-husband. He had snuck in before her and had waited in a dark corner for her to arrive. Leanne escaped his attempts to put a rope around her, and so she took a blade with her instead. Leanne fought hard and tried to convince her criminal ex-husband not to take away their children's mother. But he didn't stop, and would have completed his chilling crime if another one of the salon workers hadn't arrived in time. Thankfully, the worker and two passers-by managed to get Den off of Leanne and called for the police. In this criminal investigation, there was little denying that what Den was caught on camera doing was criminal. But whether this attempt on her life was premeditated is debatable. Den told authorities he had intended to take his life, but not hers, and that he had only come to the salon to say goodbye. However, the bag he was seen carrying in CCTV footage contained accelerants and tools to burn the place down. It seemed clear he had come to.
Hey, yup. Hey, watch who y'all have kids by. And always do research, bro. Talk to the family members sometimes, bro. I promise. You don't know that person until you really actually know his family or her family. Do some background search. I know it might sound insecure and all that, but for real, do some background research on that person. I promise, before you actually talk to that person. Hey, but that's the end of the video, yo. Make sure y'all like, subscribe. I'm out.